Hello and welcome to the Pirate King Plays Final Fantasy XVI. Last we left our heroes, we disarmed the Titan and stopped the siege of our hometown.
The Littlands have been up to their old tricks.
It's just one thing after another around here.
So I wasn't expecting to stream tonight. I was expecting to have been out at the beach today and stayed over at my partner's place overnight, but no! Thunderstorms, so no beach. Means no trip. Means I am still here. The surprise of it all kind of drained me of energy today, and I barely did anything. Huh, looks like we have a little outpost over there. Or is that like actually the land? Yeah, let's get back into this, eh? Yeah.
Well, fuck me. Never thought I'd see the dear Lord Byron Rosfield of the Seven High Houses came to tea.
Yeah, kind of a surprise. Uncle, why are you here?
Ah, my dear nephew. How I've missed you.
How did you find this place, Uncle?
Through the good offices of young Sir Wade. He really is the most helpful fellow. As are you, I hear. The Guardians and those they freed tell the most outlandish tales of your heroics in Rosalith. Which is why I came, to learn the full truth of the matter. Sort the fact from the fiction, so to speak.
You were working with the Guardians of the Flame to evacuate the people of Rosalith to Port Isolde.
I was, aye.
Then I have questions for you. Please, come inside, Uncle.
Gladly. You there? There are 2,000 gold talents in those chests. See that they're added to my nephew's coffers, would you?
Oh, shit.
2,000?
Gold talents? What does that mean?
And I'm afraid
Thought it was
that
Gil.
is all I know.
A fleet sailing south past Port Isolde. Most intriguing.
Forgive me for not being able to tell you more. I hadn't the faintest idea Kupka withdrew wounded from Rosalith. Still less that my own nephew dealt the decisive blow.
What do you think, Vivian?
I think, with this news of the Dalmekian fleet and recent reports of the Royalists' movements, that the final piece of the puzzle has fallen into place. Come here and I'll show you.
We're not going anywhere.
It is known that Kupka's forces entered Rosaria via its unguarded coast. So can the same be said of your visitors from Waloed? Certainly her Royal Navy is famed for the efficiency with which it bears her knights from one battlefield to the next. And in the Einherjar, or Black Galleon, she boasts a vessel nigh as swift, and every bit as feared as the kingdom's legendary cavalry. A fitting flagship for a land apart, her naval presence being crucial to her ambitions beyond Ash. Yes, it seems safe to assume that the Royalists did indeed enter Rosaria from the sea. So then, had you a vested interest in Titan's survival, whither would you take him? Why, home to Drake's Fang, a place rich enough in ether to conjure the magics needed to mend his hurts.
He didn't take his hands too, though.
Arduous voyage around the southern cape.
Not that I saw.
Let us say that the Royalists did put ashore with a mind to spirit Kupka away from under your very nose. Could that truly have been their plan for him? To load him aboard one of the ships flying Republican colors sighted off the coast near Port Isolde. To spend weeks at sea, being tossed hither and yon by unforgiving waves, his life hanging in the balance. No. The journey would mean Titan's death, and Kupka's faithful creatures would not allow it. So what then was the plan of our Waloed friends? Reports suggest they made not for the coast, but for the desert. And by cutting through the Velcroy, a party traveling light would have tightened back in his bed days before a galley could lurch into port. To wit, it was the Royalists, not the Republicans, who effected Hugo Kupka's safe retreat. I would stake your life on it.
So it was the Waluders who spirited the wretch away. Now I think about it, there was something a little strange about the ships I saw. The men seemed almost crestfallen, as if in mourning, as if they believed, or were made to believe, that their master was dead.
You have a keen mind, Lord Rosfield. And you have your answer. To find Kupka, you have merely to follow the Royalist trail across the Velcroy. It may well have gone cold by now, but as they say in the Republic, all roads lead to Drake's Fang.
Allow me to accompany you part of the way. As luck would have it, I had intended to journey Canverward on business after visiting you here. The Fang would be but a short detour.
I'd be glad of the company. Give me a moment to make ready. I need to tell my friends what we've learned, and where we're going.
Very well, but be quick about it, my boy. Time waits for no man.
I'll be as quick as I like, thank you. I don't know if they're gonna give me more side quests. Look at this notification first.
My favorite pupil.
Oh. People talk about.
We met under curious circumstances.
I think it's fair to say. It was during my time at the university. I had returned to my lecture hall to collect some notes and discovered Mid crouched on the lectern, sketching some designers or other by candlelight. It transpired she had fashioned a key and had been using my classroom as her own secret study, a place of quiet refuge from overzealous tutors.
Naturally.
She leave, but Mid being Mid, she refused to take no for an answer, and before I knew it, I had not only allowed her to continue her late-night studies, but had agreed to take her on as a pupil into the bargain. Though I soon wish I hadn't, her refusal to defer to authority was no less evident in my lectures. Was this my reward for years of painstaking study, I wonder? To be teased and tormented by some oil-stained stripling who seemed to delight in my discomfort?
Still.
Time together was not entirely disagreeable, not least because it was she who unearthed the plot against my life, and encouraged you to come and whisk me away to safety. And so I came to take refuge in your base of operations, and so just as she once did in mine. Yeah, I don't know how I missed commenting on this yesterday when we first met Mid. Mid, daughter of Sid. Literally just Sid with an M. Different spelling of the full names, like Midiodole or something like that, like Adolphus was, but Sid, Mid. It's fucking funny.
Lord Byron Rosfield.
7 high houses, protector of Fort Isolde. And your uncle, no less.
I heard tell.
He was an adventurous soul. And journeying alone to the secret lair of the villainous Sid the Outlaw would certainly seem to give truth to social. He will make a valuable ally. A generous one, I hope. His connections among the nobility will surely prove useful.
Why?
Perhaps we will soon be inviting the heads of remaining high houses to a grand soiree here in the hideaway. I must practice my steps.
How
I
may I
have a
help
bad
you today?
feeling
Here's
about
the latest
Byron.
information I have.
Oh. Supports the hideaway. I see.
Here you are. Very good.
Whatever. Just clearing the notification.
It's finished outfitting her little workshop, I hear.
Oh.
Otto. Kupka's at Drake's Fang. I'll be leaving before sunset.
You're not going in there alone, are you?
Don't worry. I'm not going there to destroy the Mother Crystal. All I'm after is Kupka's head. I won't risk any more than I have to. I promise.
The Lancer and the Fang are all Kupka's personal fiefdom. You have any trouble on the way, you ask for Rosina Dalamil. Some call her the Desert Hare.
Who is she?
An old associate of Sid's, and only Sid's. All I know is the name, and that they used to meet at the Dalamil Inn. We've heard nothing from her since he died. But I'm thinking maybe the new Sid might be able to bring her back into the fold.
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
So, what about your uncle? I mean, he's welcome to stay, but...
Don't look so worried. He'll be coming with me.
Thank fuck for that.
Gav, Otto, I'm leaving you two in charge.
Gav, do you
can
have
count
something
on us.
against Byron? Or does he just scare you?
How are you doing? Here you go.
Nothing. How about
Seen enough?
do I
How
have?
may I help you today, Clive?
I have 270, 295.
Come again. I may have more for you.
May the winds of fortune be forever at your back, Sid.
Don't say that. The last thing you need when you're crossing the desert is for the wind to pick up.
All right, Uncle. I'm ready to depart. Shall we?
We shall. Come, let us away to adventure.
Let us away to adventure. Walks casually away. Ah. Mechia. Elkroy Desert. A vast, arid sea of sand and stone that has been slowly consuming Western Dawn since time. See if I can grab something here. Nope.
I was a young man when last I walked this path. There's an old trading post not far from here. The road to Drake's Fang leads through it.
The trading post it is.
Hey! We got Byron with us. Riddle of the Sands. Yeah, kill as well. Yep, he's a party member, not a guest. Alright, okay. Just thinking. So what we're out and about. So we're gonna want to stuff on APU. Oh! Chocobo tracks. Both ways. Got on the map. Alrighty. Just go this way. We're actually gonna take a left here first. There's a chest over here.
Our destination lies over that dune, beyond the ruins.
Ah.
Mark them well, Clive. It's all too easy to lose one's bearings in the sands.
Stay down!
combo wasn't intended, but that was fun. Oh, 28 for these guys. Oh, I'm level 30 in the group. That one. Bloodfang. Yep. Mithril belt. Now, is it actually better than the Drake Slayer's belt which we made? No, it is not, but we at least now have the belt to match the wristlets. Would have been nice earlier. Yeah, something tells me we'll get brought up here for something. Could pull out chocobos.
Many years
You
ago,
actually want to fight.
when you were just a boy, you and I rode this way together, accompanying your father on a scouting expedition to Drake's Fang.
Let me come with you.
I'm not surprised you don't remember. It was just before Joshua was born.
Oh,
You were so eager to be there when your brother arrived that you whipped your chocobo too hard on the journey home and fell from the saddle. I shall never forget how Elwyn fussed over you as you sat in the sand, bawling like a babe.
was a babe. Clive and Joshua are only a few years apart. Though farther apart than my brother.
Who do you think those soldiers were in the inn? Friends of friends, I'd wager. Not that they looked very friendly.
Oh, so we had to go here first, and then it's actually down here.
So, Lord Cook has finally made his move.
Yes. I expect that's why there's so many soldiers in town, to deal with any Imperial reprisals.
Trigger the light.
Ah, there she is. The good old Dalamil Inn. Do you know, this heat has given me quite a thirst. Quick drink before we press on?
Away. I think we're too far away for this.
Look, there. Those are ashen steeds. No doubt about it.
And such a long ride from Stonehair. Our Waluda friends must be soothing their saddle sores in the inn. Shall we join them? Run along and play now, Torgal. Dogs aren't allowed inside.
So obvious you're trying to listen in.
Good day to you. Eating?
Sorry about my pal. He only talks when his mouth's full. What do you recommend?
Well, if you're after something light, we do a fine chocobo soup with lentils and honey.
2 bowls of that, then. An ale.
Right you are.
Hey, girl!
Coming!
Your pal?
Would you rather be my squire?
Ah. The Dalimil Inn. A literal oasis in the Velcroy, a desert in the western part of Dalmekia. Dalimil offers goods, food, and respite to those travelers who endure the long march through sweltering sands. In particular, the hot spring baths fed from nearby waters will not only ease the pains of the road, but are also rumored to cure all manner of ills, from boils and buboes to the various afflictions of the groin, many of which are like to be contracted at one of Dalimil's many brothels. Wait, hold up! Oh, no way! We're in the same fucking building.
Your Grace, it is plain you are not yet well enough to travel. If you would only let me take you to someone who can better attend to your ills.
No, we must press on. Prince Dion has returned to his camp and will soon depart for the front. I must speak with him at all costs. Miss this chance and I may never get another. You do understand that?
Yes, Your Grace. But you must at least agree to take your medicine. I'll fetch you some water.
Come back up with news that your brother and uncle are here. Lack of music in this scene is a bit odd. I feel like there should be, or that something's wrong with my volume, but then sound effects happen. My voice isn't. No, it's right.
Keep watch, they tell us. But all I see is sand.
I hear they got our guest back to the Fang without any trouble. We'll be leaving soon enough.
Why the Lord Commander dragged us all this way just to save that blockhead skin, we'll never know. Dominant or not, he's a bloody idiot.
Don't fucking turn around.
That'll be Cooker, then.
And don't say it out loud! Have you
Let's get this
no
down us.
inkling of
We've a
stealth?
long way to go.
Hey, you.
Uncle? Sorry.
He can't see us from that angle. They'll see something weird going on.
Can you walk, Your Grace?
What's wrong?
I fear trouble may be brewing downstairs.
You two are travelers, are you not? Me and my companions are strangers here. Perhaps you'd be good enough to accompany us a while. Help us find our way.
Sorry, lads, but we've got business in camera that can't wait.
Ah, I'm sure you could spare us an hour or two. Friend.
We'll finish the meal, yeah? Oh, jeez.
I'm afraid we don't have a moment to lose. Friend. Stay back, Uncle.
Gladly.
You could help, but dude, the fuck? Just fucking gobble up the food.
Take him.
Try it.
Fighting alone.
Bravo, my boy. Just like that.
Come on. Come on. Oh, wow, really? I mostly got that right.
It's over.
And we have destroyed the dining room. So was I gonna fight without magic? It was 4-on-1.
For your trouble.
Byron, what the
advice,
fuck?
miss? That soup could do with a touch more salt.
Yeah, no, he's a fucking adventurer at heart, huh? Now, does she know that Clive is Joshua's brother? Has she seen him before? That's pretty.
Now's our chance.
No.
Your Grace?
I'm fine.
Damn it. So close. Huh? Oh, he has it on him. Okay.
Clive?
know where to go? Recent.
What is it now?
It's nothing. Let's go.
Oh, so close! There's Torgal.
Where are you?
Hey!
Well,
finally get to
we
walk
didn't know
around.
where to find Kupka before. We do now.
The Royalists said it themselves. Their guest is in the Fang. We should press on before any more of their friends turn up.
Okay, just put this up here. Where do you want me to go? South. There's a lot to explore here. I don't know how much of it it's going to allow me to go to. I know there's a chest behind me at the Briar's Kiss. And also, there should be a shop there, but it's not showing up yet. There yet?
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
So you go flat.
Yeah, have a taste.
Take a sniff, good sir.
My carpets have pride of place.
Another fight, is it?
Sorry, but the master's not here at the moment. All orders have to go through him.
You couldn't melt butter in that furnace, did it?
Just trying to understand my surroundings
The inn's a mess of blood-soaked splinters, thanks to you. The least you can do is let us clean up in peace. I told the guard those soldiers started it. Don't need any more trouble.
here. Well, that is true. Got him.
Let me...
Ah, so this is just the alternate path up here. Over there, yeah.
treat you.
I need to drink.
Genuine cactuar needles. Imported from across the sea. Just one prick and you will spare. Are they marketing cactuar needles as a Viagra? Ah,
Light it, fat.
oh.
Ah, they've closed the road. And it's the only way from here to the Fang.
Is it though?
It would seem Lord Kupka is not accepting visitors at present.
We have to get through that gate.
Not by force, I trust. We've attracted quite enough unwanted attention already.
You're at fault.
By guile, then. Perhaps the Desert Hare can offer us her aid.
Rosina Dalamil, woman of mystery. But how will we find her? We know naught of her but her name.
And that she was working with Sid. Sid's other collaborators have all been people of means, the wealthiest and most successful members of their communities. I'll wager this Rosina Delamil is the same.
That would certainly help to narrow the search. We need only inquire as to who is in charge of the town.
And that's exactly what I mean to do.
Looks like we won't be getting back to Drake's Fang anytime soon.
Well, it's not like we've got a reason to. Why would this emerge?
Do you have that mark on his haunch?
Anything I can help you with, travelers? Allow me. My good man, we represent one of the oldest and greatest trading houses of Port Isolde. We're seeking to expand our business in the region and would very much like to make the acquaintance of Delamil's leading entrepreneurs. If only we knew where to find them.
Well, we're best known for our baths, our markets, and our smithies. I suppose you could do worse than start your search at one of those.
Thank you. You've been most helpful. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know a lady by the name of Rosina Delamil, would you?
No, I can't say I do.
Well, thank you all the same.
Wow. Good job, Lord Byron. It's almost as if you told him, don't give me any information.
This river runs all the way to the southern seas. They used to load the crystal onto barges and sail it to the villages downstream, before the canyons were lost to beasts and bandits. When I was a girl, I would wave to the boatmen as they set off on their long journey, and they would throw me sweetmeats in return. Such happy times.
Not sure if I want her in it, but kind of unavoidable at this point, unless I... I really like the color of the water. And we've got a bird up there. Yeah, that's a good shot. That's a good shot. I like that.
What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy?
I won't keep you long. I'm looking for someone. A woman by the name of Rosina Delamil. Do you know her?
Never heard of her. Is that all?
One more question. If I wanted to find the richest trader in town, where would you recommend that I look?
Oh, that's easy. The Briar's Kiss. Won't find a finer smithy this side of the strait. The owner's only a young sprig, but he's got all the right ideas.
The Briar's Kiss, you say? Thank you.
I doubt this young sprig is the person we're looking for. You said Sid's contact was likely to be an influential sort. Influence comes with age and experience, believe you me.
Hey, what do you got for us?
Good day, my lord.
Sword. Yeah, we've seen those already. What are we doing? Oh no, nothing's changed there. We can do this though.
Fare you well.
I don't know what was new in there.
Mummy, I want to play with the crystal.
How many times do I have to tell you? It's not a toy.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for a woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. A long-standing pillar of your community, I believe.
Then you should ask Furder. He's been here for years. Knows the place and its people like the back of his hand. And he's in with all the old merchant families. Try the baths. That's where you'll usually find him.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, what was with that phrase?
Well, it sounds like we have our man.
Perhaps. Let's go and find out exactly what this Furder knows.
Tell if just the voice actor doesn't know what he's doing, or he was told to sound like he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm assuming more of the latter. No shop over here yet.
Sweet incense, wax candles.
Furder?
Excuse me. Are you Furder?
I am. Can I help you, travelers?
I hope so. You've lived here for some time, is that correct? Do you know Rosina Dalamil? We believe she may be a trader of some renown.
And what business do you have with the desert hare?
She was a close friend of mine. I was hoping she might be able to help me.
Very well. Go to the bordello. I'll arrange an introduction.
Say until your Sid said.
This town is truly blessed. The bustling markets, the healing waters, and all under the watchful eye of Lord Kupka, who stands ready to crush any threat that might face us.
With what hands? With what hands, town person?
Do you think we can trust him? Only as far as I think he trusts us.
So you're the ones who've been sniffing around.
I beg your pardon?
Don't play the fool. Stick your nose in our business and you're likely to lose it.
Punish! Punish! Punish!
Too slow.
Ooh. Glad I wasn't just looking at the guy I was beating. Back. Not killed. Bested. I think it's a similar situation what happened with Sir Wade. Yeah.
Who are you working for? Him or her?
Him. The boss. He wanted us to test you.
Though one could hardly call that a test.
Lord Ferda?
Look what the cat dragged in.
Your skill with the blade is rare indeed, my lord. A fitting talent for an outlaw.
You know who I am. So what now? Call in the Men of the Rock and collect the bounty?
That isn't my decision to make. Our work is done. Take him to meet his precious Rosina. She will be interested to make his acquaintance.
Yes, my lord. To the Lock of Leisure, then.
To the Lock of Leisure.
You have passed the test, Sid. Off you go now. Rosina Dalimil awaits.
I think I saw these guys waiting in this alley when we were over here before. I'm like, what happens?
Plates and pots!
The juiciest meat from Green.
It would make a
The finest fabric.
Is this the place?
Lubor's Forge. The Briar's Kiss.
Ah, so it was the young sprig after all. So much for Rosina Dalimil being a woman of experience. How wrong I was.
It was an easy mistake to make, Uncle. After all, it must have been years since Sid last saw her. Sorry, him. Whoever this Lubor truly is, he's clearly a man of means. I'd say he deserves our respect.
See that he gets it. Lubor, Lord Ferda told me to bring them to you.
My boys tell me you're in need of assistance. Sid the Second.
I won't waste your time. I need passage through the south gate.
Tell me, what do you think is a merchant's most important commodity? Why, trust. Everyone knows that. Without it, you have nothing. And nothing is exactly what you have. And so, for you, I too have nothing. I'm not in the business of helping every lost puppy that wanders in off the street. I'm a busy man, as you can see.
Let's leave this mummer to his farce.
By all means. Find someone else to help you on your way. Just be sure to tell them you're not the two travelers from the inn the guards are looking for. Don't want them jumping to conclusions, do we?
Why, you...
Byron, shut your mouth. Let us do the talking.
So, what do we need to do to earn your trust?
I like this one. Willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. Men like you have a special place in my heart. Why, you ask? Because they get me what I want. Always.
You're fun.
Fine.
I'm curious what shows up here. The Desert Hare. Old ally of Sid's who fell out of contact with the Resistance after his death. Desert Hare spoke to Sid and Sid alone, leaving the other members of the hideaway with few clues as to their identity. Only the pseudonym, the name Rosina.
So what do
Like
you
that it
want?
popped up with alliance
Don't
there.
tell me you're going to listen to this swaggering scruff.
We might as well hear him out. It's only natural that an ally of Sid's would seek assurances of strangers. Assuming he is an ally, of course. 5 years ago, he would have still been a boy.
And yet even then I had more good sense than a man, 5 times my age? But enough of the pleasantries. We were speaking of what I want. I want you to put an end to the trouble in Dalamil. Return to me when you have done so, and you shall have my aid. Until then, I bid you good day.
And what is this trouble?
Trouble! If you're going to give us orders, be clear about them, damn you!
Manners, Greybeard. One catches more damselflies with honey than with vinegar.
What did you call me?
Greybeard.
My apologies. A word of advice in recompense.
You
follow the crystals. Oh, but that was 3. Oh, I'm making this too easy for you.
He knows exactly.
It will be easy. Solving his little riddle should be like dealing with him. Child's play. Let us divide our forces, Clive. I'd rather not drag this parlor game on any longer than we need to.
Byron.
All right.
Shut
Good
the
luck,
fuck
Uncle.
up.
I thought we were the only ones causing trouble in Dalamil.
In exchange for 1 great sword forged to the specifications hereunder, Red Rooster Trading will pay the sum of 1,000 gil. No less than 8 hands in length, weighted pommel, briar-clad inlay, serrated edge suited for cutting bone. Oh dear. What? What are you doing? Drop in Dalamil, visit the final stage.
Excuse me. Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Damn thieves. Pilfering the crystals that were meant to fill our cups and light our stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing.
But apparently the southern gate is not the only way to get where we're trying to go. At least according to the map I'm looking at.
Do you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalamil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men of the Rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Don't let me keep you from your work any longer.
Happens when I map. So wherever this goes, that connects eventually. Ah.
The most fragrant herbs and spices.
Kneaded to a silken soft.
You wouldn't believe how much he gave me.
Well, I hope you gave us good...
What can I do for you, soldier? Need that sword polishing?
I'm not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking. With pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before you scare them off.
I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on. I wonder if Uncle Byron's learned anything of use. He'll probably be back at the inn by now.
Are we allowed back at the inn?
What was all that crashing and banging about before?
Some out-of-towners picked a fight with the guard, I heard. Got cracked skulls for their trouble.
The guard got us.
It's you, the one who broke all our furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking for my pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but...
What?
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
Excuse me?
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement, but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle?
Outside right now. As I mentioned before, beach trip was canceled.
Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd ask for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so.
That's a
A
lot!
small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then, just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face.
Careful with the name. You don't know who's listening.
I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
Oh.
The perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support if things turn sour.
Of course.
Ah, that's our reason to go out this way. Desert, not much wrong thing on.
Farewell.
Oh, and we landed up here. Nice.
Caution.
Caution. Oh, shit.
It's over.
Two finishers.
Enough.
Stay away from my dog. Not that my dog can't handle himself. This is why I didn't go with the chocobo. I wanted to fight along the way.
You're finished.
Oh, I thought he was closer. Oh wow. Ooh, before he hit the ground.
Stand a chance.
Just the glitter pickup. Just then Gil.
I'll take it from here.
Will you? Oh wow. They have been hoarding them out here.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem.
My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs.
They're not here to do business. Kill them. Kill them both.
Yeah, I figured that might happen. Damn it! There we go.
It's not over yet, Uncle. Good. I'm just getting warmed up.
No magic. Only I can do magic. Me and my dog. Haha, I got more than I thought I would. Okay.
It's over.
Guess we're fighting their chocobos too. I think I just plowed right through him with that. Slain. I thought there was more than those guys. Oh, well.
Well, that wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on the stage. I think I did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling.
Up, Blue Boar.
Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly. Buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking Crystal's men for the common folk and conspiring with the Royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalamil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is. Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon.
Her response, I guess. Sometime later. Blue Boar. Forge Master of the Briar's Kiss, finest smithy in Dalamir. Blue Boar is also the Desert Hare, an ally of Sid's who once went by the name Ruzena Dalamir. Yeah, that's it.
It occurs to me that I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard.
Yeah, no, just...
Here, wear this.
Hey, another mark. Or seal. Desert Rose.
Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Excellent.
Thank you,
You're a
Lubor.
lion.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalamil is back in bed with Sid.
Might phrase it a bit differently, but okay.
Umia los delan. Tu isakelis.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive? So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold.
I like him. I don't know what Byron's problem is.
Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
Quest complete. Alright, yeah. I would have put... I had no chance to put on the Gil thing. At least 2 new quests about.
Clive.
Oh, you have... That's what the difference of the symbol meant. Okay.
You and I
Have more in common than you might think. Not only are we both masters of the blade, and devilishly handsome to boot, but we are both the second people to bear our respective names. I knew it.
What?
You didn't think Rosina Dalamil was my own invention, did you? It was the name of my master. I inherited it from her, along with her title and her smithy. Ensuring that her name lived on was the least I could do, after all she did for me. She plucked me from the streets, put my less than nimble fingers to work making blades instead of trouble.
Alas.
She was to leave my life suddenly and unexpectedly, as she had entered it. I swore to follow in her footsteps, that I might change others' lives as she had mine. That is why I keep her forge alive, why I play the desert hare, why I care for the orphans of Dalamil. Indeed, I had thought my obligations to Renz and Drika to be my most pressing concern. That is until the infamous Sid made a surprise reappearance, rather muddy the waters.
Still,
I suppose there's enough of me to go around. But do forgive me if the desert hare isn't always at your beck and call, won't you?
Ours is a blessed corner of the Velcroy.
A veritable oasis with clear running water and natural hot springs. I don't doubt that people have been gathering here since long before the founding of the Republic. Since it was founded, they've been gathering in even greater numbers to serve the needs of the miners who worked Drake's Fang and the soldiers who guard it. And serve them they did, lining their coffers far from the prying eyes and grasping fingers of the Republican excisemen. Not that edicts from Mirandala carry much weight in these parts. Dalamil has long been something of a law unto itself. Here, those with the most money, or the most friends, make the rules.
At least they did.
Until Kupka built that castle of his at the heart of the Mother Crystal, Dalamil has been Titan's fiefdom since then. And while his men may be liberal with their coin, they are anything but in the exercising of their authority, which, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, is absolute.
So,
you see why those with the people's best interests at heart took it upon themselves to organize their own protection. My predecessor chief among them.
how very fitting.
The noble soldiers of Dalmekia and Waloed, partners in arms on so many battlefields, should also become partners in crime. Still, the merchants of Dalamil will be relieved to see them brought to justice, many of them driven almost to ruin for want of crystal. I'm sure they would all be rushing to thank you for the service you had done them, if of course they had any idea what you had done.
Of course.
As long as we remain reliant on the power of the crystals, we leave ourselves open to such exploitation. But people are greedy, needy creatures.
There's simply no other way.
You must bring down each and every mother crystal in the twins, and to put an end to the people's thoughtless dependence upon them. Do not try to disappoint. Do try not to disappoint me. Okay, so he's also aware of our mission to take down the mother crystals.
I've never even forged a butter knife before. Perhaps Forge Master Luber's having fun at my expense.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I. Oh, wait. Are you Clive? Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I'm Sava, Master Luber's least accomplished apprentice. Soon to be former apprentice if I don't pass this test. Maybe I'm just not the resourceful type. People are buying up weapons faster than the Briar's Kiss can forge them, and here I am, unable to make a decent bit of kitchenware. He wants me to make a carving knife, one that embodies the spirit of Dalamil. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't suppose you have any idea what he's on about, do you?
I'm afraid not.
Never mind. Thought I'd ask. It was that or pack my bags.
I could give you a hand if you like. I know how busy the Briar's Kiss has been, and that Lubor needs all the capable hands he can find.
I'd be a fool to refuse.
So, where do we start?
Good question. If I'm honest, I've never made any kind of knife before. And then there's this little riddle to keep in mind. The spirit of Dalamil. Nothing is ever simple with that man.
The way I see it, there's only one way we'll be solving Lubor's puzzle. We need information. The more the better.
You're right. There's no point fumbling in the dark, I suppose. Now, who to speak to first? Well, there's plenty of folk in Dalamil who use knives for a living. There's the butcher, of course, and any number of cooks. They're bound to have an opinion or two about the tools of their trade. All right. I think we have a plan. Let's get to it, shall we? I'll talk to every cook I can find. You speak to the butcher, and anyone else you can think of.
All right. Good luck.
Let's hope that someone says something useful.
Trust Lubor to take a simple test and turn it into a riddle. I'd better get to it.
Okay, so we can just pass through the gate. Grab our other thing here.
Is it true what I'm...
My carpets have
Take a
bright
sniff,
red
good sir.
lights.
You'll be transported.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Welcome, sir. What can I do you for?
A question, if you don't mind. I need to know what makes a good carving knife.
You a blacksmith or something?
Something, I suppose.
Fair enough. Knives, is it? First and foremost, it's got to hold an edge. Most knives will make it through fat, no problem, but sinew dulls cheap steel in no time. Give me a blade which can slice through anything that crosses my chopping block, and I'm a happy woman.
So a knife that stays sharp. Makes sense.
Yeah. Give our apprentice smith an answer. But yeah, we'll
Everything I've worked for. Ruined. All those years of toil. Every coin I've ever earned is tied up in this place.
Are you all right?
The baths are closed. Leave me be. On second thought, perhaps you are just what I need. Might your services be for hire?
That depends on the job.
I'd have you save my business, the baths. The water's turned scalding hot and all the crystals in Dalamil wouldn't be enough to cool it. I've no doubt that my woes stem from the water's source. But I can't go and investigate for fear of my customers thinking I've abandoned the place. I'm bound to these baths in more ways than one. I beg of you, go to Dusnoff Terraces. Tell me what you find there.
Sure.
All right. I'll go and take a look.
Wonderful. It's not far. Leave the market by the south gate. The smell of sulphur will guide you the rest of the way. These baths are all that keep me from an ignoble end in a debtor's prison. My livelihood, my very life, is at stake.
Yeah, we get it. We'll go. Hot water. Yeah, you seem to be in. Okay. Oh, that's down there. This way.
I'll be asking for you again, my sweet.
Then see that you stay.
1,000 gil from. If you can't even.
They've opened the gate.
Lubor was true to his word.
Not going out there yet, though. We're looking for.
We can make our way back to the Fang now, at least.
That's the. It says we're quest destination nearby.
Fucking men of the wrong. Anytime they pull their snouts out of Kupka's trough is when they want to lord it over us.
I need a drink. You're going to drink my pockets dry, then just up and leave?
Why, yes.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
We got our info from this person, but I'm not seeing anyone else. Marks of
Made from the stoutest stoneware. Won't chip, won't crack, no matter how rocky.
Hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your door.
The baths are, closed for scrubbing. Please bear with us a little longer.
I'll be asking for you again, my sweet.
Then see that
Yeah,
you
we
stay.
heard that. Gotta talk to you.
It's all the fault of this blasted war. The moment they find out you're from the Empire, they flat out refuse to do business with you. Plates and pots!
Found the butcher. Oh,
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Here, have a taste. The most fragrant herbs and spices from the breadth
It
of the
would make a
twins
fine
and
gift
beyond.
for your beloved. She'll look at you in quite a different light, I'm sure.
hey, where the fuck am I going? Who am I talking to here?
Made from the stoutest stoneware. Won't you? Silver platters.
Oh, you, all the way out here. Okay. I thought this was out of the area, I guess.
What is it? I'm in no mood for chatter.
Sorry. Do you mind if I ask your trade?
Hunter, why?
I have a question. Can you tell me what makes a good carving knife? I assume you use one out in the field.
Has to be able to put up with some punishment. Can't be dealing with a brittle blade, not while I'm on the hunt. If your knife snaps every time you use it, you'll be spending coin as fast as you make it. Times are hard enough as it is.
Thank you. I won't keep you any longer.
All business, eh? Man after my own heart.
Ah,
So, a carving knife should be hard-wearing and hold an edge. Hardly a revelation. Let's hope Sava had better luck than I did.
Just look at the detail. Kneaded to a silken softness.
The finest fabrics, fresh from the...
So, how'd it go? You learn anything useful, or should I be looking for a new trade?
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't see how that relates to the spirit of Dalamil.
I didn't have much luck either. All the cook said was that he needs his knives to be light. Too heavy and they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we started. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his Dalamil remark. But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with the man to know that he chooses them carefully. No. We must be missing something. Something right in front of our noses, most likely.
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off making this knife forever.
Agreed.
Is there something that is known as the spirit of
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But it's hardy enough if you don't hammer it too thin, and it sharpens up nicely with a bit of effort. Trouble is, it's either durable or it's light. Meaning someone is going to be disappointed. Forge Master Lubor, probably.
Is there no one else you can turn to? Someone who knows their metals, perhaps?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my test. But maybe there is someone I could turn to. A merchant, a favourite of Forge Master Lubor's, who sells metals to tradesmen passing through the Valcroy. I bet she'd know a thing or two.
Off he goes. Oh, back out there. Oh, when this part is going to be finished. Not here again. Stick to the road. We're not going to. I could switch back to the hill.
So, Lord Cook has finally made his move.
Ah, there we are. Just in case. Switch you back to.
Any luck? Or will you be needing help with your bags?
Well, I asked her, but... you tell him.
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of the whetstone. But adamantite ore is unique to ash, so it doesn't come cheap.
And it's beyond my skill to handle.
Unique to ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalamil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine it. Make it lighter.
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work iron. Then that's what he'll expect you to use. But he would have known that it would either be too heavy or too brittle for a carving knife. Perhaps his Dalamil remark wasn't a riddle, but a hint.
If it's cheap metal you're using, then there's always limestone, I suppose. Folk first settled Dalamil to get at her mineral deposits. And, if you know the trick, it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out impurities from low-quality iron.
Bloody hell! That must be it! I don't suppose you know the trick, do you?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmiths to know how it works.
Looks like I've got some learning to do. Clive, I hate to ask after all that you've done for me, but...
The limestone? Fine. I can hardly abandon you now. Besides, I want to know if this is the answer to Lubor's little riddle.
I can't thank you enough, Clive. You'll have no trouble finding limestone over in the terraces. The place is bloody made of it.
Then I suppose I'll meet you back at the forge.
Right you are. I'll see you shortly. So, do you crush it up, or just...
And that means... on our way to the area for the other one. Enough. It is still weird to me, as it came up before, that they haven't been referring to money as a gift. Because it is referred that way in the menus. It's written down that way. They've been calling it something else.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
My carpets?
Yeah. Take a sniff,
Nice.
sir.
Like me and
Fresh
Doc.
bread, warm from the oven.
Plates and pots! Silver platters!
Finally, we'll be able to get what's...
We should get going soon. Do you have water?
Oh, I figured something might happen.
I'm not too late.
What is it, Lubor?
A question that I neglected to ask earlier. Where is it that you're bound?
To Drake's Fang. To finish Hugo Kupka.
Just as I thought. Then allow me to share a secret. Drake's Fang is currently riddled with royalists. Talmeki and Walud are allies, and as you have seen, their soldiers work hand in glove. But no nation has ever before allowed a foreign army to make a barracks of its holiest of holies.
Not by choice, at least.
And there's more. A man on the inside of the Fang has failed to report for several days. I fear there may be more trouble lying in wait for you on the road ahead.
Isn't there always?
If you're determined to beard the lion's den, then promise me one thing. That you will enter via the mines, where the guard is lightest.
That we can do.
I've lost one Cid already. If I lose another, people will start to think me careless.
I don't plan on dying. Not before Kupka does, anyway.
Well, so long as you have a plan.
Okay. Now.
Drake's Fang should be just beyond these springs. Shall we press on?
Okay.
One rock looks a lot like another. But hopefully this is what Sava needs.
Blue water like that? It's pretty! Now the question is, do we go and do this first? Before coming back? No. We're close enough to tell that. I'm just gonna finish this one first. Oh, back out. Certainly fighting.
We should get going soon. Do you have water?
Hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your door.
Hopping along.
It would make
I'm
us
The
not getting
finest
interactive.
fabrics, fresh from
I wasn't sure how much you'd need, but I hope this is enough.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant both, she's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone is the secret weapon we were hoping for.
Saw what was the issue with the water. There were bombs hanging out there.
That'll do, I reckon.
That's
a knife forged
something.
from the very rocks of Dalamil. Her spirit, if you will.
It's a fine-looking blade.
I only hope Master Lubor agrees.
That sounds like my cue. And just as well. I was getting tired of waiting.
I'm sorry, Forge Master Lubor.
Let's take a look then, shall we? First things first, Sava, do you think this is a carving knife worthy of the fine people of Dalamil?
I'd like to think so. But what do you think?
What do I think indeed? It's sharp-ish, but it won't last long with hard use. And it's heavy, heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step in the right direction, granted, but one that still leaves you short of the mark.
And I was so certain I had it all worked out.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but it certainly shows initiative. Next question. How much do you think I would charge if I'd made this?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of the time it took me, I would say you could demand a heavy purse.
And who would be able to pay that? The butcher? The hunter? The cooks over at the inn? Dalamil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords and ladies. Rule number 1 in any business, Sava. Know your customers.
Yes, Forge Master.
This is just about passable. But only just. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer. Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
I will. Thank you. I was wondering, what would you do if you were asked to forge a carving knife?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
Yeah, you got all the right information. You just tried putting it together.
All right.
It looks like congratulations are in order.
I couldn't have done it without you. So much for the Forge Master's riddle, though, eh? The spirit of Dalamil had nothing to do with limestone or anything much at all. Meaning, I had you run around for no good reason.
You've passed your test. That's all that matters. You'll have a forge of your own in no time.
And when I do, I'll craft you the finest carving knife you have ever seen.
Quest complete. Carving on a niche. There we go. I know where I'm going for the next side quest. Let's switch you back to You! Damn it.
The
Kneaded
juiciest meat
to a
for
silken softness.
Made from the stoutest stoneware.
Just look at the
Sweet incense.
Part of me wonders,
Finally,
like,
we'll
part of me wishes I could be, that
We
the
should get
running in
going
this was
soon.
faster. But then I actually look at the running animation. No, that's a normal speed. That's a normal running speed. This is the normal sprinting speed.
Come on, girl, the gate's
What the hell are those things?
Something awful's taken up residence in the springs. You'll turn back if you know what's good for you.
Forward, because that's what we're here for. I want to take the path, but those things keep me off the path.
Caution by the flames. That explains the heat.
Oh god, they're bath bombs! We got her in here. There we go.
You're finished. Nice try. Farewell.
Hey, that was actually the right move. Oh, got it. Oh, shit.
Guess we're all ready. Out of the frying pan.
Okay. Shit. Old Faithful? Are you kidding me? Fucking a bunch of bath bombs led by Old Faithful. Hilarious.
I'll not be outdone.
Be slain. Right? Fun is fantastic. Old Faithful makes me think there's a geyser around.
Let's cool things down a bit. Let's hope it's enough to keep the baths from boiling.
Seems to be the only enemies around here. So switch you back to Gil. Can. Ah, there it is. White icon show up. White on white. Why not? There it is. And now we have. You speak.
Broken down, you say? From the weight of its load?
Aye. The guards are furious about it. You do well to steer clear.
Well, if it's blocking the road, it'd be a wasted journey anyway.
Wise.
Come on, girl.
We should get going soon. Do you have water?
Are you looking for something in particular? My thanks. An excellent choice. Thank you for your custom.
Well, we can make our way back.
There he is. The man who saved my business. I was hoping we'd be seeing you again. The baths grow more bearable by the moment. It won't be long now before we are back to business as usual.
I'm glad to hear it.
Now, tell me this. What did you find at the terraces? What threatened to make me a pauper?
Not what I expected, that's for certain.
Bombs. Bombs were affecting your bath.
You tell a fine story. That's not to say I don't believe you, though. Creatures made of flame, eh? That's something new to worry about. But I burdened you with my worries enough already. Here, a small something by way of thanks. Right. It's high time I got back to work. With a little luck, the day might yet be salvaged.
Quest complete. Oh, no cash. Not AP. Ah, level up. Very good. Breath of the Inferno and a Scarletite. Ooh. Oh, we certainly have enough for an upgrade somewhere here. Yeah, let's go with Glock. Let's see if it looks any different. No, that's pretty similar. Maybe just reaches farther or does more damage.
Silver platters!
Hanging lanterns!
Okay.
Finally.
In that case, there's probably more monsters out that way, so we'll switch this back to AP.
Be able to get one slowly.
How do? Trader, are you? Seeking your fortune down in the golden sands of Dalamil?
from mercantile stock myself, as it happens. You'd never guess, but I was born just down the road in Dravost. And like me old ma and pa, I've been wandering the world hunting Gilbard's blessing ever since. Reckon I might have found it, too. You've heard about the famous healing waters they got round these parts, right? Well, I'm thinking, if I can find a little pool of my own, dress it up a bit, lay on drinks and fancies and whatnot, I'd have a license to mint Gil. Soothing your aches and pains with a grape in your gob and a glass in your hand. There's nothing people wouldn't pay.
Longer than I was expecting from a random NPC. Good so much. I'd rather be on my feet. Makes sense. We're going to Drake's Fang. Go via the jar. Ah, obelisk.
There it is, Drake's Fang.
Okay. That crystal is a very different shape from all the
Kuka will
others.
be hiding inside.
Along with goodness knows how many guards, all on highest alert.
I thought you were only
You'll
coming
need
with
to
this
keep
part of
your
the way.
wits about you if you're to reach him. So be careful.
I will, Uncle.
That's where we part ways?
Before you go, Clive, allow me to apologize. After what befell at Phoenix Gate and the crisis that followed in its wake, I fled. I retreated to my counting house and danced attendance upon the vicereine in the hope it would bring me favor. I betrayed my nation to save my skin, like the coward I am. And I'm sorry.
Uncle, please.
It's not too late, Clive. Rosaria is yours by right, and there are those that would help you to take it back. Had I the courage of my brother, I might already have done so. But that ship has sailed. You, however...
No. Forgive me, but I cannot. I fight to build a new world now. A better world. Where men can live and die on their own terms. I was raised in a nation that strove to improve the plight of bearers. Only later did I realize that spark of freedom did not arise by chance, but was kindled by my father. You would see me follow in his footsteps. And that is exactly what I mean to do. Not by ruling Rosaria, but by extending his ideals to the whole of the twins. Though every soul in the realm may judge my actions heresy, I am certain my cause is just.
You really are just like him, you know? Thank you, Clive, for coming back to me. I am proud to call you nephew. Well then, this is where we must part ways. Wish me luck in convincing my Canvarian friend to share his considerable talents. I mean to plunder his coffers and prove myself worthy of a place in your merry band. Till then, my boy.
Till then, go safely, Uncle.
And you, nephew. We have much to catch up on, you and I. I shall expect you to regale me with the tales of all your adventures when next we meet.
Oh no, don't put it that way.
You can regale me too, Torgal.
Don't ever put a "when next we meet" in there. That's a death flag. No.
I'm coming for you, Kupka.
Yeah, we passed through this, and then suddenly this was activated. So we still don't have stuff out here, as we'd expect. I guess we could go this way. There's a lot more to this. However, what we do now, Drake's Fang. Unlike the other mother crystals of Alstea, tower above the realm, Drake's Fang lies buried deep in hollow crags scholars call geode. Oh, that's it? Oh, that's cool. Like most of the other ones are these giant crystals stuck in the ground. It's the only one that's rounded and in the ground. Cool. Gave him some iron hands. What do you expect to do? You can't move the fingers.
Fuck! Why do they still hurt?
Yeah, we hadn't actually read this, I think. One of Alstea's 5 remaining mother crystals located in the Dalmacian Republic. Unlike its sisters, who jut from the earth to tower above the landscape, Drake's Fang is completely enclosed in the vast hollow of an ageless mountain, its citrine figures reaching inward to the barrow's heart. Excavation of these crystals has, over centuries, showered the Dalmacs with substantial fortune, and as such, is seen as a symbol of the nation's prosperity.
What has that gutter rat done to me? Out of my sight, bitch! I'll kill you, Rosfield! I'll rip out your heart! I'll tear you limb from limb!
Peace, Hugo. The table shan't hurt you any longer.
He sought to humiliate me. Me! If you hadn't interfered,
Not to kill
he would
you.
be dead!
You truly believe you would have triumphed had the battle continued?
Titan would have ground him into dust!
And how would he have done that without his head?
Shut up!
You weren't strong enough, and you call yourself a dominant. Or rather, you did.
You mock me, Harbert.
They have a name for him. Really?
Do you see, Hugo? You are weak.
Fuck!
But so long as that fire burns within you, there is still hope. There may yet be a way for you to take your revenge.
Tell me, what must I do? Please, I'll do anything. Just tell me.
the heart.
What of it?
A Mother Crystal's heart is the most concentrated source of ether in all creation. Perhaps you could take advantage of that. Of course, the crystal would not yield her blessing to any ordinary man. But then, you are no ordinary man, are you, Hugo? Clive Rossfield stole your power, but others have suffered a similar fate, and still managed to find the strength to conjure their icon. Like Benedicta Harmon. She too drank of the ether and gained a power beyond human understanding.
She did?
She kind of went insane, but yeah. Yes?
Benedicta. Benedict.
He is a broken man.
I'll do it. My love. I'll avenge you.
Run along now, Hugo. You need only follow the light.
Lord Harbord, you have a name now. Lord Commander of the Kingdom of Lude's armies, Harbord is known to many as the Constant Knight by reason of his unchangingly icy demeanor and his unwavering loyalty to his liege. Indeed, he appears to command Barnabas's complete trust, having been gifted full command of the Royal Order of Knights despite his apparent youth. The capacity in which he evacuated Hugo Kupka from Rosleth Castle, however, remains a mystery. Especially the fact that he lifted him with one arm. There's something that guy's not showing us.
Muthos is here.
Excuse me?
Very well. It shall be so. You may leave everything to me, Your Majesty.
Yeah, you're in league with Ultima, and that's not good. Drake's Fang. The mines, yes? Not. Oh. The fuck? What are you? Are these more beastmen? I think so. Orcs. What?
Did the Royalists bring them from Ash?
Tell us about orcs. Oh, Torgal's got a new entry? No, we already read that. Slightly smaller than her sister of the west, the eastern continent of Alceste is markedly more altitudinous. The lightly wooded shores guarded on all sides by nigh unscalable cliffs. Having been ravaged by the blight still more grievously than the storm, the Kingdom of Lude is now her sole remaining nation. A warlike, yet surprisingly organized species of beastmen native to Ash. They have long been in conflict with the Waluders over control of the continent, and currently count the bulk of its eastern half as their own. However, the encroaching blight continues to eat into the amount of livable land, making the fight for more territory ever more interesting. Into the darkness. Ooh, I've seen this pop up before.
Are the beastmen part of the Waluda army now? How the hell did that happen? They've spotted us. We're in big trouble.
Yeah, that was kind of the point. We weren't getting through here without a fight. Orcish fodder? Really?
Taken over the entire mine.
It's over.
There's a good boy. So much for the men of the Rock. Dalmekia's finest.
Clever. That's the Orcish Mesmerizer? Is that what they're calling their magic users? I'm all for it, but still a bit odd. Potion. Ah. Oh, there we go.
Animals. You should never have left Ash.
Oh, why don't we hit one with that? Oh, no, I got another, right? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Wait, what? Oh, that guy. No. 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 Guy up there, damn it.
Farewell.
What the fuck is going on here? That is what I want.
Stay down.
Okay. Is annoying. Wouldn't let me lock onto the ones I wanted to fight. I flew up to the ones up there and wouldn't let me sleep.
Won't be going any further this way.
About the door.
Stairs. This must be the way out.
This is why he told us to go via the mines. Something was wrong. How we know what.
You're finished.
Oh dear. Okay. Orcish warlord. Ow.
How did it get in here?
Why are you not fucking dodging when I tell you to? Oh, damn it. Oh, come on. Oh, never dodged those in time. Got that, though. All right. Ow. Get down. You barely even stumbled, but you're still stunned. Okay. He missed. Great.
Too slow.
Okay! I got just far enough away. Oh, come on. I was dodging.
Too slow.
Better.
I needed that.
Oh.
Fire and flame!
Oh, that got him. Nice. Enemy slain. Oh. Fuck. Okay. Where did we enter? There? I think we entered there. Yeah, that's where we entered. Surprise me. I'm... Okay. I don't think that even counted as an encounter. We're gonna switch back to Missouri. Still want more experience. Only sometimes can I use Rose Gambit correctly. Still not bad. Oh, is this not a way to go? Is that door actually where we needed to go? Shit. Where are the others? Where is it? Oh, here we go. This is Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, they just built
By
a
the
tunnel
flames.
inside here.
Come on, Togo.
The opportunity to walk up on the road, I'm taking it.
Kupka never did do things by halves. As if taking the Mother Crystal for his own wasn't enough. He had to build his castle in it.
Ooh, we could even out the shot. Make it center it like this. Yeah. Yeah, centered is good. I don't normally center it like this, but it works for this one. Normally I'd have gone with something like this, you know, looking out on it, but nah, I think it works in this case. I don't really need to save.
Let the trial begin.
Something tells me we're gonna end up destroying the Mother Crystal, even though that's not what we're here for. Whoa! Hi!
What the hell?
With me.
No, I wasn't. That was not the right place.
Nice try. Guess we're all ready.
Okay.
Too slow.
Okay. No real dodging that one, huh? Get back.
Well done, Tom.
I shouldn't have used this one. Oh well. Oh, this is just great. Oh, I did it! Woo! Okay, that didn't work out. Alright, was that one again? Okay. Woo! Oh shit. Haggard. Oh, wrong timing on that. Okay.
We needed that.
There we go. Ding. Undertaker vanquished. Favor of lightning thunderstorm.
Seems we're expected.
Walk on.
So this is the power of Mythos.
It's mythos, not muthos. What kind of accent is that? One thing that always bugs me about games like this, where you have people from different nations, they never.
Did the orcs do this too?
Like in this game, everyone has some sort of British accent. But there are so many different nations. They at least dress them different appearances. Everyone has the same accent. Oh, great!
More of them.
Oh, we just triggered another fight all in the middle of this one.
Too slow.
And I still have the Berserker ring on. Ah.
What the hell is going on? Are these things here for me? Or for him?
Ah. Fuck. Probably have to go that way. Saw these other ways to go. I'm like, oh, let me collect things from here first. I was not expecting the Wraiths and Revenants. Don't want to walk into a boss fight. Money. Oh. Oh dear. Bravery? Some opponents will use the ability Bravery to invigorate nearby allies, enhancing their performance in battle. Or we take them out before they cast it.
Stay down.
Nope. Ah, fuck you. Where are they? Oh, jeez. Alright, alright, alright. That's what I'm looking for. One that was already on the ground at the last minute. Hey, can we break his throne too? Actually, give him like wood chips when we do this. He broke our father's throne. Can we break his throne too? No?
First orcs, now these nightmares. Is this your doing, Ultima?
Yes. Big door? Oh, great. No, I should concentrate on the lift, but I don't want to get hit by these guys in the meantime. Yeah. Alright. Oh, that was this. And, yeah, too late for that. There we go. I just do my counter strike back into that AoE spell?
Too slow.
This, and I'm going with this. Oh, shit, alright. I don't really even need this. Okay. Came in this way, yeah? No. Came in over there. It's a door. This. It's not? It's not. Broken table.
You've been busy, Kupka. But where did you go? The heart. He's in the sanctuary. I can feel it. Come on, Toggle.
Maybe they didn't. I thought for a second, oh, do you need me to just jump off the edge here? There's a door. Probably should. Figured it was one of the two. Potion we get healed. High potion. Great wind up.
Just what I needed.
Didn't get the red. Got them all though. Okay. Yeah, fine. Whoa, what was that? Alright, Spectre, you're going down. No more magic, thank you very much. Better.
Farewell.
Love me my AoE attacks. Don't like the
That
charge
better be
up.
the last of them.
Oof. Oh.
Benedicta, my everything. I've missed you so much. Kuka! I swear to you, my love, we will never be parted again.
What's wrong with him?
Oh yeah. He's hallucinating. Clive? Take this opportunity. Oh.
You get away from her! Benedicta!
Ah.
I'll kill you, Rasputin!
Oh shit, he's priming.
Yeah, you missed your chance. Oh.
No, not now. Come on.
Crime, we will too.
Find him. You've done this before. You can do it again. Let the flames burn within you. No. Let them burn without.
Come to me, Ifrit!
Yep. Time for a kaiju fight! Let's see how big Titan is in comparison. I'm expecting big. We've seen him before. There he is! But not in comparison to a freak. Oh, and he doesn't have his hands! I take that back. Yeah, we've seen them heal like this before.
Come on then.
Hit! Haha! Precision dodge in the air! down with anything specific. Only access is free. Oh shit! I have no special moves at the moment. I just wail on him.
Trick. But if you can do it, then so could I!
You learn Brimstone. What is it? Shield that explodes? Are you gonna bring the ceiling down on us like you brought the floor out from under us in her earlier fight? Stone's throw. That's his classic move. Okay, that... What am I doing? Brimstone. R2 square. A violent explosion. Hold it for longer to increase explosion size and strength. Is invulnerable to damage while charging Brimstone. Attack, however, will automatically trigger the explosion.
Let's give this a try. Not bad.
Okay. Right, I probably shouldn't have done that yet. Hey, I can do that too. Push it. The Berserker Ring is doing anything while in this form. Probably not. Woo! There we go. Attacks are slow. It's so easy to predict. Up we go. Oh shit, he still got us? Oh! toss Titan. That crystals? Excuse me? Are you causing an ether flood?
What the hell has he done?
Earth and here. Okay. Oh man, really? No fucking way! I wonder if the heart of the Mother Crystal got destroyed in all this. But we're outside now. What the fuck? Oh, this music.
Thunder, help me. It's do or die. I'm coming, Kuka.
Oh, we're just running. I'm still holding forward, but it's not making a difference. Just gotta dodge these. Woo! Okay. Oh! Is that our way up? Wait, what? That's our way up. Shit! Woo! What should this do I have control over? Is this a scene at the moment? I think it's just a scene at the moment. Nope, that's the thing. It's the first time I got hurt in this battle. Holy crap, the size difference. Are these tails or just tendrils of earth without control? Oh shit. Incoming! Okay. Oh, Titan lost. Interesting. I'm just noticed the name of that.
I've got you now.
You? We do! There he is! How are we fighting this? My goodness, we're barely the size of his fingernail. Are in fact actually doing something. Oh man, it is difficult. Oh, that guy. It's difficult to feel like I'm fighting something here. I'm doing something, obviously. Okay, alright. Oh, that he took away the platform now. Dagger. Okay, what does that mean for me? Oh, that was good. Seems about that much. Whew. Aren't even suit. Kind of. Whew. I will read the full set of your chat as soon as I can, but holy shit. I gotta pay attention to this. Alright, new battlefield. Shit. Rain. We like, what's the collateral damage right now? Are we somehow avoiding killing all the people nearby, or is it? They're saying this is okay because everyone who was already nearby was killed by the orcs and the looters. Not that way. That? What was that move? What did I just do? Yeah, well, okay. Alright, sure. Got a move I didn't realize I could do. Oh, shit. I don't think those shots would be. Into a cutscene again. Medic evasion. Okay, we're up here now. Oh, jeez. Okay. Woo. Apparently, by doing a fireball at the end of a combo, I burst up into a into the air. That. Coming. Oh, we have a weapon now. Haha!
You're mine.
We about to rip his arm off in this form. Yes, we are! Yes, we are! Let's try this again! Oh, wait, I'm in control. Why am I in control? Am I in control? Jeez. Oh, back, right? Oh, we have a targeter! That's what I was confused about. One of these. Railgun shooters. Oh, where? Away from where I thought it was. Oh, okay. So we're actually fighting this. Good to know. I thought I was trying to steer this thing, but no, I just have my target. Okay.
Heads up, Hugo!
Oh!
Your time. Here's past! And this day is over!
Time is past. Oh, shit! We're still falling. Oh, he's... Wait. Okay. He's back to himself. We're just in the air now. I'm more in control than you might think in this scene. We just don't have a ground to stand on. How are we still falling? We can't have been that high up. Oh, he tried to stop. Or not. Oh, I think he actually got me there. Oh, that was correct. that itch is satisfying. Alright. So far wasn't all the way down, so there's gotta be cinematic finish after it. Oh, that's the wrong button! Ooh! All that means is I got hurt. I can't believe I missed the QTE. What?
Ether. From the Mother Crystal. If you can do it.
Oh. No, no, no. That's a bad idea. Why are we taking in the ether? Okay. Got big punchies. I knew it was gonna be this one. Talk about trading blows. Ooh, right to the forehead. Fuck yeah. Titan Slave. Like a fire demon mech suit. Music, yeah, music and everything is just fucking epic. And we leveled up. Earth and Fury. Huh. We already have our Earth and Sword. I wonder if we're gonna get a new one. Version. Oh, okay, wait, hold up. We were underground. How did we get out here? No. No, 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 don't tell us that. Oh, fire sword. All right. We took out the heart, as I was expecting would happen, but why is there nothing around us? Did we flatten the mountain before taking out? Oh, wow. And we're in our head again. You! Whom the fuck?
Is that you, Ultima? What do you want?
Your soul is tainted with worthless human will, yet your thirst for power remains undiminished. With every sip you take, you grow in strength, and soon you shall achieve perfection.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You will accept us, Mythos. It is inevitable. You were created for this purpose, and you shall serve it.
Never!
Fight it, Clive! Don't let him in!
Consciousness. We see now. Human will is so insubstantial it cannot exist in isolation. You mitigate its weakness by interweaving it with your consciousness. We believed we had merely to purge you of your will to claim our vessel. It appears we first have to sever every thread of the consciousness that supports it. No matter. The time to build a new world is not yet upon us. We will contemplate.
Okay. Sure. Joshua was able to say something made sense to me because, well, Ultima is sealed inside him, I think. So
Thank you,
connection.
Joshua.
Also, yeah, I guess that feather gives us a slight connection. So much is going on.
One can no more command the power of ether by drowning in its flood than one can constrain the tides by standing in the sea. I had thought Hugo wiser than this, but it seems his head was full of rocks after all.
Titan was strong.
Your Majesty.
Yes. Here?
But Mythos is stronger. For 5 years, that man lived only for revenge. Clinging fast to a fiction, even as it swept him into the abyss. One cannot change one's nature through force of will alone. Only the Almighty can do that.
Hugo Kupka, the man who gave his life for a woman's head.
Curiosity. I guess just Hugo's death now.
A fool like all the rest.
That the death of a mother crystal should be so beautiful.
How it? Okay. I thought we destroyed it before we even got to the heart. I didn't know how it was out in the open. From stone to sand.
Some medicine, my lord?
You again?
I have salves, potions, anything you need.
Stop bothering me, urchin, or you'll feel the back of my hand.
You must consider your health, my prince.
Everyone has been refusing her.
If a show of force is needed to keep the Dalmex at bay, you may trust in your dragoons. I beg you to call on Bahamut only as a last resort. His strength comes at too great a cost.
The Empire agreed to an armistice with the Republic, and yet the Emperor still plots its ruin. For now, the Dalmex suspect nothing, and as long as I can hold their gaze, war need not be inevitable. More than that, Bahamut is the champion of the Empire. When our people look to the heavens, the sight of him gives them hope.
Okay then.
Forgive me, Terence. Would that you were my master. But alas.
I will always be your loyal servant.
New things are the Holy Knight's Dragoon and Sir Terence. Nothing too special there. Second in command of the Dragoons, the foremost fighting force of the Holy Empire of Sambrek, his sword remains ever at the ready should anyone be foolish enough to make an attempt on the life of his liege lord, Prince Dion. Born to a family of minor nobles, Terence entered the prince's service as a squire before climbing to the Dragoons' ranks. He and Dion are lovers.
Should the Council's brazen maneuvering prompt the Republic to tear up their own treaty and launch a new assault, our soldiers would advance to meet them, cutting across the Central Isles, but not in time to prevent their forces from breaching the southern defenses and storming Twinside. And so the capital would become a battlefield. Thousands of innocents would die. I cannot allow that to happen.
There is one small mercy, at least. You will not be forced to do battle with Titan.
Would that I could avoid doing battle at all.
1,000 pardons, Your Highness.
What is it?
Olivier has been made emperor.
What? Dude hasn't even spoken a word yet.
My father's orders. What were they? Quickly! Yes, Your Highness. His Radiance requests that Your Highness maintain position here and... Gah!
Peace.
Terence.
Yes, my prince.
I must go to the palace.
I'll ready your steed.
What is it now?
Joshua?
Forgive the intrusion, Your Highness.
I know you.
At ease.
We stand in the presence of the Phoenix. You wouldn't want to get your fingers burned.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all. Though I admit, I did not expect such a distinguished guest.
How many years has it been since the Remembrance ceremony? 20?
I thought you long dead.
So they have met.
Do I address a ghost?
Many have told me that I look like one. But no. I'm alive. Just. Prince Dion of the House Lesage, I have a tale to tell you.
Talk about a fucking entrance. Good job, Joshua. All right. Yep. More mother crystal. Ready to go with the hideaway. I'd like to be done, but I'm sure we have scenes to sit through here until I have control again. Can't save from that screen. Marvel. Oh, or we don't. Out of the shadow.
I'd better give Otto the good news.
Missive. Cyprus as of yet. Yeah, I guess,
What ways need
Welcome home,
patching up?
Sid.
Actually, yeah, these aren't new yet. So, head up here and we'll see. Not gonna check off any of the notifications.
What became of Cook?
Done. Switch this to all right. Pray before I head off to go and see if my friends are still playing. Send you to Ellie.
It should happen.
But from what I can tell, she and a few other people are currently watching Hot Ones. The episode I've seen, too. Alright. Well, until next time, this is the Pirate King, signing off. Have a good night.